DeAndre to his seat. We gonna switch it up like that, y'all. Switch it up. Man.
So you were talking about what happened on Chicago Avenue?
Yeah, we're gonna get into the violence. That's part of it. Bertha was telling me something else happened down on Cicero and Madison at the gas station, and somebody sent me some videos of the kids over in, young people over in Amundsen Park, gang banging over there. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know even how to put it. What's the reason? That's what I need to know. What are the reasons for it?
How to break down.
Yeah, but when did it start? When did the breakdown ever? When did the breakdown happen? That's my question. It wasn't overnight.
Well, I mean, I just think it really just is a result of the system itself. I mean, once we look at their different facets, though, they don't put laws in place where you really can't discipline your children. They've made it easier where kids are subpar, they pass them right through.
I think that was one of the worst things, DeAndre, that No Child Left Behind. I think that was horrific.
When I first met your mother.
Yeah, well, go ahead. I want to talk a little bit about what that means.
I don't think that there's anything that Ryan could do.
I don't want to necessarily say guns are an issue per se, but I do think that the creation of different tools that help, like with kids today using switches. Why would you create something like that? Like, who has a need for, what I mean? And then to make it so readily accessible, it's things like that,
But let's talk about that. With two things. The No Child Left Behind. What does that really mean? Are we talking in the school system, or are we talking just in general all over? What does that really mean? No child left behind.
For me, I was talking about the school system. Okay. Because last year was the last year that they were honoring that no child left behind. But now you're going to have all these children sitting in a classroom who don't know how to do the work. And now you got some bullies in the class. It's only asking for trouble. I don't think a 16-year-old should be sitting in third grade, but I do think you should know how to read and write before they pass you to the next grade. You got kids going into high school who can't even do basic math and read basic things. That's horrific.
So that's what the policy actually stands for? Just pass people through?
And that's what they did. They just passed them on. No kid left behind.
Wow. Oh no, that's
it. So it was from 2002 to 2015. It says No Child Left Behind was a federal law aimed at improving public primary and secondary schools and thus student performance via increased accountability for school districts and states. But it does not say actually, hold on, let me see. All right, let me look and see what exactly was it.
But it continued on, DeAndre. And then through the pandemic, and even last year when we were talking to some of the teachers, and that was what they were saying. They were passing the children, but that would be the last year. Now, I got this from some educators. That would be the last year that it would be happening.
And the reason was just because I don't see the benefit. What's the benefit? I don't get that.
Neither did I, Steve. Neither did I.
Right. Then the other thing DeAndre just kind of touched on was the switches. He's like, what's the, why? Why do you need that?
Why do you need a switch? I get an automatic weapon, if you were
Yeah, but
hunting.
my question is, what's the difference? I mean, one shoots 100 rounds in less than 20 seconds or 10 seconds, and the other one shoots 100 rounds in a minute.
That's true. Preferred weapon of choice is a Glock, though. Nobody's running around out here with AKs. I mean, have them, but they don't run around with them. They run around with Glocks. And why the Glock switch is highly regarded for the work that they do.
So it's the rapid fire of 100 rounds in a Glock? Is that what they do?
Usually 30.
30 rounds in a Glock. So it's probably less than what?
I mean, you can get a drum for 100 rounds,
Right.
but most of the time, because you can't put a drum in your hand, right? You could do a switch, extended clip though.
And then they put an extended clip of 30 rounds, and they put a switch on it that allows those 30 rounds to shoot
2 seconds. Clear the whole clip in 2 seconds.
And that kind of damage does what?
Nothing. To be honest, it's interesting. The video, you saw they was up close. They only hit him 7 times. Now, obviously, it was still a fatally.
Right.
But they shot 30 times and hit him only 7, and they were up close like that. Switches gives too much recoil to the weapon, so the weapon goes up. So you really
somebody else.
Yeah. So that's the problem with it. You know what I mean? That recoil is just it's way too much, and then you're gonna throw it up. Yeah.
Somebody told me the guy he got shot 52 times.
Nah.
He was shot at 52 times.
Probably. The news I saw.
Because the father, I heard someone tell me that they said that I said that must be the young man that got shot. They were saying the father was talking about maybe he need somebody to help him find the perpetrators. And because the son was shot 52 times, and I said, oh, that must have been the father of the young man that I seen the video of. And it's a mess, man. But one thing I looked at that video about 4 times, DeAndre, and what I noticed the 2 guys that came out with him, they indiscriminately went to that one guy. Yeah. And then if you notice, as the door opened, as they walked out, the car came around that corner into the gas station.
Right. And
there's no one at a corner could have waved them in at the same time like that. It was the people that were walking with him that called him. Did you notice the guy that was with him? One went back inside. He seemed like he wasn't aware of it. The other guy that went around the car, he looked back. Now you hear all that rapid fire going on, and you just see them guys put a gun in your face. Would you turn back around? When you get 20 yards away?
And was it possibly a setup?
Oh, he looked around like, okay, they doing what they asked me to do, and he just moseyed on. There's no way if you got away and ran off like that, you gonna stop on the other side of the car and then kind of look and see. Okay, now I get it. He's trying to see if did his guys get it, but I don't think that would quite be protocol when you hear the bullets still shoot going,
Yeah, it's sad.
It's beyond sad. That was 8 in the morning. Execution, and then the 3 guys finish up with all their bullets. The guy go back and get an AR out the car, and then while the guy already dead laying there, he put the whole rest of the AR into him.
Yeah. Crazy.
But that kind of stuff that's going on, man. This is on the random. I mean, I don't want to say on the normal, but it's on the random. And then we got a big rise. I saw Anthony earlier, but I was gonna say over by Armisen Park, there's a group of young people out there. They out there, gang banging, talking about what they represent and what they snatching and taking and this and that. I'm like, wow, this is what we doing.
Let me ask a question. In these areas, I'm not sure if it's Build or out of the three areas we just talked about, Laramie and Chicago Avenue, Madison and Cicero, and at Armisen Park. I'm not sure whose territory it is, be it Build or Chicago Avenue. But what have they came out to say? We're gonna do X, Y, and Z besides the pop-ups where they get the damn people hamburgers and hot dogs. What are they coming out to say is gonna happen in these areas? Because somebody gets shot, even one time in a neighborhood is a lot. There's a lot of elderly people that live down that block on Laramie. There's a lot of elderly people. Those people I'm pretty sure are terrified. What is gonna happen in the neighborhoods? In those neighborhoods, what has come out? It's been almost a week since this happened.
Well, the last weekend we spoke of the murderers, and I said, either we got a few serial killers in Chicago, or we got thousands of murderers, and they living on every block in Chicago. They ain't downtown in the penthouse. They ain't living on these boats in the water at the lakefront. They living on these blocks on the north, the west, and the south side. And out east, as they say now, I don't even know how we got an east side, but now they call it out east for some reason. But
the money being put in our communities for prevention. I was just saying, DeAndre, before you got on, there's been a lot of money dropped in Austin for prevention. And these three neighborhoods, these three areas we just mentioned, is right here in Austin. Yeah. We deserve better.
Yeah, I mean, the money. I mean, what are they trying to do? Like they did in Afghanistan, just bring bags of money to the chieftains and say, here, this is for you guys. Just calm it down. Take money and put your guns down. I mean, I don't understand what the protocol is supposed to, what's the process that these groups are supposed to be doing? Because when I saw these young men over in Armisen Park, and they're talking about, man, I got something in this bag, this, that, and the other, and we snatch them in this our area from here to Central, and we North Avenue, ain't nobody got North Avenue, we got North Avenue, all this, I'm like, really? Okay. This is what we doing. But I'm kind of taken aback because I seen another video about 3 weeks ago. It was out south on 71st and Western. And there was a Hispanic guy standing out there. There was a Hispanic guy, I think, in the car. And it was either in the strip mall or a car dealership. His car was facing away from the building. So the front of his car was facing away, not towards the building. And he had his window down. Then there was another Hispanic guy that had some earbuds in his ear, and he kind of was moseying around. He walked up to the car and said something to the guy. There was a second Hispanic guy, or I'll call it the third. He was behind the car like a lookout guy on the sidewalk between the car and the business. Then when the other guy, let's go back to the one that's not in the car, he walked up and said something to the one in the car. He walked away. All you see is the guy come up with now he had a mask and a hoodie on. Broad daylight, looked like it was about 80 degrees that day. Could have been between 12 and 3, 4 o'clock, the way the sun was set looking. And he just reached in the car and unloaded in the guy's face and chest. The guy put his hands up like he was gonna stop the bullets. And the guy, that wasn't enough. The guy kind of slumped. He reached in some more and unloaded the rest. Then it came another guy off to the same side of on the driver's side, but like off the back door, the passenger behind the driver. He started shooting in the car from the back. I'm like, I don't even know if that was necessary because the guy was dead on dead when he stuck that gun inside that window and put it in his face and his chest. So, I mean, this kind of stuff you seeing and it's around. It's not like, oh, that was over there. These are places we know of, you know. And then I was talking to the artist Antonia Rupert. I was like, you know what, Antonia, keep doing. She's talking about doing a mural. She did one by the hand on Laramie and Kinsey down there.
Okay.
And I said, keep doing those murals because that's going to be transformative. It's going to make people start to, you know, change their mindset. And as we were talking about, she said, well, Steve, I was doing one last week, and by the hand, or Everest, whatever it's called. And she said at about 8 o'clock, and we heard a bunch of fireworks. We thought it was killing. It went off for so long that we figured it wasn't fireworks. We went inside, and I said, oh, you were down on Laramie and Kinsey.
Yeah, buddy.
And the guy, the other guy, the guy that actually was killed, and all that noise you heard was what, 4 blocks up?
And just your house together, huh? It's so nice.
In Laramie?
8 p.m. or 8 a.m.?
8 a.m.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, said it was in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what that was.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
She said she heard it, and they thought it was fireworks. She said, wait a minute, it's Tuesday morning or whatever. You know, fireworks, and then she kind of went, wait a minute. And then they heard it, and then they said, oh, let's go inside. So everybody went inside. Because she said it was loud, and I'm like, yeah, you 4 blocks away, literally on the same street, but 4 blocks away, you're gonna hear that kind of noise, yeah. But you know, this is the would you say the peak of the summer?
No, this is shit. What we at? Probably
The end of
what is it called? Usually, what they call it, the penultimate, right before the end.
Yeah.
We at that point, the penultimate point.
Yeah, we at that point. But you know, this kind of violence, it just rolls through. It just continues to roll through. And then I talked to some policemen about it. They were like, "Oh yeah, we heard about that. That you know, I'm like, I know it's not in your district, but you know, yeah, we heard about that, and you know, they're looking into it." I'm like, that's it? Looking into it? You got people that unload guns and then go back in the car, turn around and go in the car and pull out a long rifle and unload that too?
Yeah.
And you know what? Nobody flinched and looked around to see if the police was coming. Nobody turned their back and said, hey man, let me see. None of that. Or anybody else was gonna shoot at them. They didn't even flinch. Not once to even kind of like, let me look around. Now, we know for sure there were 3 guys that were shooting the one guy.
Right.
We know that there was a driver, because the drivers never did get out. But it could have been a 5th guy in the car. We don't know in the back. Could have been 3 in the back and 2 up front.
Yeah. Well, we'll be up there. We had put out a statement. The district council did. We're gonna go up there, talk about some solutions, possible solutions. So when I had put the statement out, yeah, go ahead.
No.
When I put the statement out, somebody had called me. It was like, yeah, DeAndre, see what y'all got going on, man, but y'all gotta have some recommendations, solutions or something. It's like, and we do a lot of, you know, talking and marching and all that good stuff, but y'all gotta put something forward. So I start, you know, calling people, trying to think of like some different ideas. And I also doing a lot of research, trying to see what's going on across the country and internationally. What are some of the things that they're doing?
Right.
And ultimately, I found that what we were doing, what we do already in Chicago is already in place. I mean, policing reform and trying to get community policing going and establish restorative justice practices, and what else was on there? Essentially have community-led councils, right? Like they was different names, but district councils. Trying to get people civically engaged. I mean, I'm talking about everything that I looked at. So as I was talking to folks, I started piecing stuff together, and I was like, you know what? Here goes some ideas. So these are the 3 ideas that I'm gonna share tomorrow that I think could help. I'm not saying solve it, but I don't think these are things that people are talking about right now, which is what I was trying to go for. So I said, 1, we need to get CTS to implement a trauma-informed curriculum that is focused on emotional regulation. A lot of these young men and women that are out here doing this, sometimes they just don't understand their own emotions. But this generation is more emotionally in touch than others before it, but they just don't know what to do with it. So I think it's now we at critical mass where we need to start implementing. I believe each generation thereafter is going to be even more in touch with their emotions, and things like this will be commonplace if we don't figure out how to get them moving in a direction where they understand those emotions and can do something about them before they explode, if you will.
So what do you mean by in touch with your emotions?
So today's youth are much more willing to talk about how they feel than those of generations past, because in the past, it was always frowned upon. If a male was crying and all of this, man, shut that up. You're a little girl, you know what I mean? They don't do that no more. Now it's okay. Share your feelings, cry. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? And the more you get into that, the more you're gonna have folks that are more in touch with their feelings and able, hopefully, to articulate it, but maybe they don't know how to do that. And I think now is the time, especially with a elected school board coming into play, to where we start to get them to focus on, if our students are going to be CPS students, they need to then be taught how to be able to confront folks in situations without going to the extreme. So, and I mean, it's something that, again, I don't think people are talking about. Nah, it ain't conflict resolution though. It's emotional regulation. Conflict resolution allows you to have a conversation with a person. But if you can never control yourself enough to have a conversation with a person, you're not looking at resolution. So you got to start with something up front before you can even get to resolution. Now I could see a space where we're building and say, okay, now that you've understood your emotions, how to turn the faucet off, if you will, now we can start to talk about conflict resolution, mediation, and some other tools. But you're talking to a blank canvas. These kids don't understand that piece already. It's very difficult. Like now, you're gonna find some in the mix, yes, but the majority of these kids don't have the capacity to do that right now. So I think if you start up front, you do some from K to 12th grade, you start to implement a curriculum that's trauma informed, that focuses on emotional regulation, and then you can start to build on that, especially with the incoming elected school board members. That gives them something that they can start to push toward if they haven't considered it already. And the things that I was thinking about has to be legislative. That's the thing. If we're not getting it in writing, it's not happening. So I was trying to consider things that had to go in writing. So that's why I'm putting it on those that's coming in as elected school board members, because then they would have the ability to do something like that. The second thing I talked about is I would like to see a parenting skills class developed. I think if we lean on the state and federal government, the same ones that give support to families, to say, we need a curriculum focused on parenting skills. It sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, grandmas are 30-something odd years old. We're not having big moms anymore that can lay down wisdom. These folks are still growing themselves. You got mothers and daughters, fathers and sons, sometimes kicking in the club together. It is what it is. This is the reality. And as these kids continue to do these things, the parents are almost outside of the accountability piece. You got to start holding them accountable some way. my thing is this: tie it to the benefits they receive, whether you minimize them or take them away. You have to have a gradual process. Okay, your child keeps getting in trouble. Show up on Saturday, take this course, da da da. It's a work in progress, but it'll be something that'll be legislated in because we have to do something, and I don't think that's being considered right now. And the last thing is we got to get this restorative justice court in Austin. We've been fighting for it for a long time. Yeah. Judge Evans don't want to bring it here, but we keep running into instances where we need something as a, we can get this curriculum involved, mediating process where we can get folks to sit down with one another. I think you bring that, you can also lessen the involvement of the Chicago police when there's just neighboring conflict. So we need to start being able to get these things before, because the one I heard that there was a possibility that the shootings that occurred on Madison occurred because someone's father got killed, and then they retaliated, and so that's a conflict right there. The father whatever the case may have been, if we had this court in place, we could probably have a conversation and possibly move around. I don't know, but I still think we need to do that. So those are the three ideas that I came up with. All of them need to be legislated in, and I think once you get it in writing, then we can have something where we can move forward. And none of those are being done right now. So I didn't want to come to the table with some stuff we already doing. Right. I wanted to come with something different. So that's what I'm gonna present tomorrow when I do the press conference.
Let me ask you this: when you said, oh man, you said a lot. Legislated in. You brought up Tim Evans, Judge Tim Evans. What's the holdback with him? What does he not do?
Well, he's the one that can sign off on what the court can be. You know what I mean? So although we've been looking to get it in Austin, he's saying there's other places that need it more. Yeah.
So what if
I don't think it's all on Chief Judge Evans.
Okay.
That building for Build was made with the promise of community court going up in there.
Yeah,
if you all remember correctly, I was the one going around trying to get petitions signed because Adam had backed out of the deal and he put it all on Chief Judge Evans. And if you all remember, I sent a letter to the Chief Judge about that. So now they talking about having it done, and they want to put it in the Aspire Center, which is going to push it back even more. I don't think it's all Chief Judge. I think Adam and Bill is the reason we do not have a community court in Austin, because I was fighting for it from the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. But so they do have it coming here then. We will have one.
There's conversations about getting it here. They're even talking about writing a petition from community to send it to the Chief Judge, because so many courts have opened somewhere else. But the thing about Austin community should look at, when the decision was made not to bring it here, we should have been notified, and we were not. They got that whole big old building built, and we were the one left out in the cold.
Yeah, I know they've been talking restorative justice since they need to restore the whole pledge again, and what they're gonna do, because I've been hearing that for almost 8 years or so.
Yeah, when it was off in office, he's the one who started the conversation about it coming. And Build was all on board with it. When Boykin wasn't reelected, they took it in a totally different direction. And the community was not notified. It wasn't until about a year or so when they hired that new guy at Build who finally told the story that it wasn't coming. And that's when the conversation started again. Because I started sending letters to the Chief Judge and to Austin coming together. What happened? This wasn't supposed to happen to us here.
Right. Wow. Well, We gotta come up with something. I think those are some good ideas that DeAndre is pledging, because, they're different. Number one,
Great
they're
ideas. I pray that community come out and support, because no matter how hard DeAndre and them are working, if community doesn't come out, there's not a lot they can do.
let's talk about that now. What's preventing it? Why are people not coming out? What's your take on that? Why people are not being involved?
I don't know. I don't want to monopolize the conversation, but I really feel that a lot of times people are feeling like they're not being heard. They're not seeing anything from the actions that they work for that come to part, so they give up. I don't know. We need to just, and DeAndre has been really working hard on something that I asked him about, and trying to get community behind that is still hard. But we have to just keep on trying to get people to come out. And then too, like the older people, a lot of them are sick now, and the younger people just not picking up the ball.
Right. So they feel, the older people feel frustrated because they've been holding the flag for a long time, I guess, carrying the torch, as they say. Well, what you say there, Tiny? What you have to say about all of this?
Well, I'd like to go back to when we were talking about No Child Left Behind. Well, I was teaching, and I told the principal I didn't want some kids to pass because they hadn't caught on what we were trying to teach. And the principal told me they don't have to catch on. They don't have to learn it. They just have to be exposed to it.
Really?
Yeah, they said just expose them to it and keep on going.
Wow. They ain't got to know that. they ain't got to be in the light. They just got to see the light down the hall. Wow.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So does this happen in all communities?
Yeah. They had it so that if a child was in one school and he transferred to another school, they would be on the same curriculum. Everybody had to teach the same thing.
And I think that's the way it is in CPS, Tiny. I really do. But my granddaughter goes to Moving Everest.
Mm-hmm.
And, people talk about charter schools, but it's different there, because if my granddaughter does not perform, baby, they own it. But on the other hand, my grandson go to legal prep. And I think they, just like Tiny said, all they have to do is be exposed to it.
Wow. And exposure means just anything.
It was introduced in the classroom, and that's it.
Right.
You heard what they said in the room, right? Yeah, I heard it. But did you get it? No, I ain't get it. Did you take the test? No, I ain't get the test. Did you pass the test? Did you took it? No, I ain't passed it. But I heard it. Wow. That's a bit of a bad thing, and we just passing people to drop them off, and again, they always talk about the school to prison pipeline. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That what it's all.
And Steve, I remember a lady came up to Northwest Council once, and she was saying that she knew a young lady that had got accepted into Harvard, and she couldn't sign her name. She couldn't write cursive.
Wow. Yeah, I mean.
So.
When you get into Harvard, I don't think you can quite sit there and just be like exposed to it. I think you got to do a little bit more than just being exposed. It's been exposure when you get to that
Yeah,
Ivy level. I
right.
don't know what, it might be a rude awakening for some that don't know what's really going to happen once you open those doors and go into that classroom on those levels.
Mm-hmm.
But let me say one thing about the violence, because we did talk about the violence, and DeAndre said he searched across, to see what's going on in other places, in other states, and other countries, and so forth. But what I found is that Chicago is not the number one place for all of this. This stuff is going on all over the country.
Yeah.
Memphis is on fire with this kind of stuff, with this violence. Memphis is on fire with it,
Yeah, because when you look at murder per capita, even like somewhere like Peoria, their murder rate is higher than Chicago when you look at murder per capita. But where Chicago is all over the news, everybody else isn't. So it looks like Chicago is the worst, but we're not by far the worst.
Right.
Yeah, well, Chicago is the political heartbeat of the country, though. You know what I mean? So whatever we do here, if we can get it right here, then we would be the model for other places to get it right. And so although we're not in the top 10, I don't even know if we're in the top 15, if we could figure out how to solve it and do something worthwhile, then others would emulate it. So that's the reason, Political hotbed. You make it here in politics, you make it anywhere.
Yeah, that's what was said. That's what was said. Kiana, how you been?
I have been doing good, Steve. How have you been? Can you hear me?
You said you haven't said again?
What now?
I said say again, I couldn't hear you. It was breaking up.
Oh, I said I've been doing good. How have you been?
We all right. We just,
Can you
talking
hear
about
me?
what. Oh yeah, we hear you definitely. We're just talking about the most recent things.
Okay. I'm just.
I was gonna say what it looked
Okay.
like down in Texas because, like I said, we've been.
For the most part, I haven't heard anything. Right now I'm looking at cows. I'm on my way to the gym. But I haven't really heard much going on here. But I have heard that it's a lot of Venezuelan gangs that are wreaking havoc, but I haven't really heard so much in Texas. But you know what? In Round Rock, Texas, right outside of Austin, at the Paul Wall concert. Did you hear of that?
No, I didn't hear about any
Yes.
situation.
Yeah, there was a shooting. I guess it happened yesterday. It was at the Paul Wall concert.
Right.
Yeah, but
What,
other than that, I don't know anything else.
right. Well,
Yeah.
it just seems like gun violence is just a thing that's more prevalent than it used to be, or we're at a time in our lives where we can get information more quicker, a lot quicker, or more prevalent, or easier. So, I don't know. We got other things going on in Chicago. They got the Democratic National Convention that's kicking off, and they done shut down all these neighborhoods, and people complaining how they gonna go to work and get to work. You can't drive in and out. So, excuse me, I think they want people to just get on and walk out of your neighborhood and take an Uber or something, or park your car far away from your neighborhood and walk out of your neighborhood. But they're not letting the Secret Service and And you know, FBI and everybody else, they're not letting, you know, cars move around. They're just not letting it happen. I don't even know how you just shut down a whole. Well, I haven't seen it done before. I take that back because I think it was 92, 93, something like that. I had an opportunity to meet Bill Clinton on the west side at the 15th District Police Department, the old 15, and they shut down that whole neighborhood, cleaned it up, had a street sweeper clean the alleys, the sidewalks, and everything. And they had Secret Service. They literally took us through a gangway. I walked through a gangway of a house, down an alley, to come up in the back of the police station, and then you got checked again. And everything was clean. That was crazy. I was like, man, I know this neighborhood. Why is it so clean? Well, they cleaned the gangway, they cleaned the alley, they cleaned the sidewalk, they cleaned the street. They took the cars off all the streets. It was just, yeah, they do that. When they want to make the way they want it to go, they will do that. Shut everything down and isolate. But, oh, excuse me, y'all. I've been up since 5 o'clock, so my body's starting to catch up with me. But no, the DNC, Bertha and I was talking a little bit about it, but what are your take on it, guys? What are your positions on this DNC right now? Tiny?
Well, you know, I was supposed to volunteer for that, but I never could finish the application. And now I'm glad I didn't, because I'd rather just watch it on TV. You know, it's crazy.
Right. Well, I was also a volunteer. I filled out the application and all of that, but didn't hear anything back. So they asked, when do you want your training? A week before, 2 weeks before, well, never. I said, you know, as early as possible. Didn't hear anything 2-3 weeks before. Didn't hear anything. Here it is. And I'm kind of like you. I'm kind of glad they didn't call me because, yeah. Hey, I'm glad I got Anthony Bingham on the line. Anthony, you been hearing anything about these gangs over at Armistead Park?
Gangs at Armistead? No, I haven't.
Yeah, Tommy sent me something, man. It was kind of disturbing. You had about 15 young men out there. It was all, you know, propped up, talking all that, you know, like they represent this. And ain't nobody coming through here. We patrol North Avenue, blah, blah, blah. We go from here to Central. Nobody gonna come over here, this, that, the other, blah, blah, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, I hadn't heard anything about that yet.
He could show it. Maybe you could show it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my eyes open. My eyes and ears open now on it. I don't know. Okay.
What's happening to you?
Okay.
Let me see.
See, we're gonna try to give you guys figure out how to.
Wait, is this a video you said?
Yes, video. Maybe we can do it.
Hold on, you know what?
Send it to.
Nah, just where's the video coming from?
It's a thing called Live with BABA TV.
BABA Baba?
Yeah, Baba TV, and it's YouTube.
Oh, YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
1800 Snatch.
Okay.
Out west, it says. And you gotta look at this and hear this because this is a bit disturbing, to say the least.
No, this ain't it.
No.
No, hold on. No. I was looking, I put that in and it pulled up some African stuff like that. I don't think that's it.
This was
Oh, no.
Hold tight. Hold tight, y'all. We're gonna get it for y'all. 1 second now.
And what was the thing called?
It's called 1800 snatch.
18.
Out west Chicago hood.
1800 snatch, man. Yeah, I got it right.
You got it right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he gonna show it to you. Hold on, y'all. Just a little bit. We ain't gonna get into the whole thing, but you know.
Well, you're gonna have to do share screen over there. Though.
Oh.
They ain't gonna be able to see
Okay,
video.
here you go. Share screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Go to share here at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I looked at the background, I said, that's Austin Park right there.
Hey, another thing, don't let them tell you they run up avenues. They don't run up avenues. They run up avenues. That's the wrong. We put these streets up. Okay. We run up avenues. Oh, you try to come over here while we live for Bobby? I'm not gonna be alive anymore.
Live for Bobby TV, who we got with us?
National the biggest, man. Not the white, not the light. Marshall Watt, SG Blast, 218. This like it's dead. This is right now, man. It's gonna get it going.
Oh yeah, let the people know, let the people in the camera know where we at with it.
We on right now. We on Bloomingdale.
Oh yeah, y'all trying to do a walk around or not? Yeah. While I ask the questions, let's go ahead and go get somebody to it. Keep the show. So how far y'all hood stretch?
Narragansett, really, Narragansett for Central. This is gonna be outside, so. Yeah, we taking Mayfield shit. They don't be outside.
Mayfield, what on Mayfield?
Anything on the back that way. Anything on the back that way, there ain't no shit. But once you get done, we can walk on that bitch. This out there, but that bitch so safe.
Oh yeah, let them know what time it is too. Let you know.
Yeah, that's 7:32. 4th of July, man. One of all guys, so you know,
Oh yeah, for sure. So what's some dudes and adults coming to this hood?
Everything those dudes don't ride this bitch, no broken windows. Oh my damn, no broken windows. Look, broken windows.
Oh y'all was born and raised in this block.
You can pull through this bitch. This gonna be right there. Love it, elementary. Another thing y'all need to do, so that we don't even know who that is, man. He came out.
Oh yeah, for sure. So how y'all feel? Cause there was another hood called M&A that said they ain't know y'all till this like this year. How y'all feel about that?
They know us, We just made that last shit, bro.
Oh yeah.
1800 pounds, who was your money? Nick for again. Nick could be told, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, nothing. It's like 8 of them. 8 of them love. This all of this video love.
So as far as clicking up, go, y'all doing any of that or not?
We got time to be doing, but nobody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all thing y'all doing, like, y'all in cahoots with any other night?
You know,
That's enough, y'all. That's enough because I'm at a point where it's like they have nothing to do, it seems like. There's nothing at all, you know, and it's like they're looking for something something bad to happen or to get into because they have nothing to do, and that's the saddest thing, man.
They don't even ideal. They're just out there. They don't even know where they're going and what they're doing, and it's just sad.
Right. And the crazy part is that neighborhood ain't that bad. It is like he said, "What's your hood?" Oh, our hood is Narragansett. Really, Narragansett? Well, let's move that to Austin. No, let's say Austin. Like you said, they don't know, but that kind of stuff will invite the wrong thing. You know, they mentioned some other guys, you know, that's kind of prominent that we do know have had a lot of instances. They mentioned those guys, but they kind of disrespected them and said, "Oh, they're young. They don't know nothing about it. They're those young guys." I'm like, those guys were young. They're not young anymore. They've been out there doing this clowning. The other group that they mentioned for over 8 years or more from what I know of. But again, how do we get to that place where you got all this going on? People, you know, got weapons on top of weapons on top of weapons.
And one of them walking around with a baby in his arm.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, why you got this kid out here when you know when you get that sick, somebody out looking for him, and they have no problem shooting in crowds. You know that whole shooting in a crowd thing when I was in high school, it only seemed like, well, I'm gonna tell you the truth, but it was. It only seemed like it was Latin gangs and Hispanic gangs that were shooting in a crowd. It wasn't common for black gangs shooting into a crowd. And then that whole drive-by stuff, after I want to say maybe 5-6 years after high school, that started. You know, that wasn't common. You know, drive-by shootings until now. It was now in California. It was going on out there, but it wasn't prevalent in Chicago. I mean, unless you want to go back to the original Al Capone and all those guys that started all of that. But it's just like I said. Now DeAndre said having switches is the ultimate issue now. I'm like, why would a switch be a difference between shooting 30 rounds in 2 seconds versus 30 rounds in 10 seconds or 15 seconds, or whatever it is? It's just, to me, shooting, first of all, is a problem. Shooting multiple rounds is a problem. Shooting multiple rounds quickly is a problem, whether it's 2 seconds or 20 seconds or 2 minutes. There's a lot to me. I mean,
well, finally, you know, as far as the switch team, the switch makes sure that the opposition is dead. See, you see when a person got shot at with a 30-round magazine, and he had to squeeze the gun consecutively 30 times in order. Now, when you squeeze it once, more than likely the person is actually gonna die. He's gonna get hit more than one time. So that's the difference. So it does make a vast difference from consecutive to automatically. Now, as far as those young men, they don't got fathers in their life. They probably grew up in single mother households where the mother can't control them. You know, the father left for various reasons. Those are just boys product of not having strong male influence. And when you don't have that, you get these rambunctious types of characters coming up, and all of them want to be a boss. There's no structure. So they all want to be a boss. They all want to make a name for themselves. And whoever that person was interviewing them, he's also a detriment and a problem. Because guys who interview those guys, they just want to upload it on YouTube and make money off of it. We gotta stop interviewing those guys, because those are a bunch of losers. They're a bunch of bums. And we gotta start voting a little bit different. Voting for people who are harder on crime, but not hard on all black people. Like, you know, only because certain black people dress the same, you know, and we also gotta start differentiating ourselves from these type of people.
Well, DeAndre said, let's go back to the switches, that the switches really don't give you no control. It makes the gun rise because you have no control. It just zips out of your hand. So to me, that's a bigger problem, because now you just indiscriminately could have shot 15 other people because you have no control, which is wrong in itself. Trying to have control to shoot somebody, to kill them, is wrong in itself. But
yeah, no, definitely. When you shoot, you know, I was just shooting automatic weapons a couple of months ago in Las Vegas. I was shooting AK-47s, and man, let me tell you, I had no control. Like, as much as I tried to control that thing, I just couldn't. It just was rapid fire, and the recoil was just out of this world. But the bigger problem, Steve, who the hell made the switches and who bringing them in? Because it sure ain't black people. It sure not black manufacturers. These are white people making these things, and you know, I want to say Hispanics probably got better access because we got Mexico. So, you know, but I don't even think they use the switches in Mexico. I don't know how these things even got on the streets, honestly.
Right. So were you shooting a Draco or something? Or were you
No, I was shooting a full-size Klishnikov, AK-47. It was a full-size Klishnikov, and I shot a full-size AR-15, and I shot a MP5, fully automatic MP5, Bruce Willis style, automatic. They didn't have no automatic pistols because an automatic pistol is just, it's really, I can't say there's not no need for it, but, you know, it's definitely going to do the job, though. An automatic pistol, somebody run down on you with an automatic pistol, you done. You ain't surviving no switch.
My question to you is why I asked that question about what type of AK, because my understanding that AKs are very stable firing weapons, and the ammo rounds that they shoot are very powerful and direct. But
yeah, AK-47 shoot 7.62 rounds, and what it is it has more gunpowder inside of the tip of the bullet, and right. So, but it is more stable because there's more gun and the barrel is longer. But go look at any war footage. They shoot AKs in burst fire. When I went to the gun shop, he said shoot in 3-second bursts. Don't just let it rip. Squeeze, let it go. Squeeze, let it go. Even in Ukraine, in Russia, they not just letting it go like that. If you hear somebody letting it go, that's a turret or a Gatling gun. But an AK-47 automatic, you want to Squeeze, let go. Squeeze, let go. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you have no control. You're not gonna hit nothing.
It has a very distinctive sound also.
Oh yeah, yep.
When they say a chopper, it's got a very distinctive sound.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I remember, I want to say about 15 years ago, I was at NAC. I was there late, and the lights were off, and I was just coming up to check on after I left work on the work that was done, and all of a sudden I hear bloom, 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 bloom. It was so loud. I swear to you, it sounded like somebody was shooting a rocket, but rapid, in succession. And at first I paused, and then all of a sudden I'm like, it's right outside, somewhere near. And found out, soon after that somebody had ended up shooting at some guys down at the strip mall on Waller. But I'm like, where was he shooting it from? Because he sounded like he was on the opposite side of the door or the wall where I was at. And
But again, how do these things get in our neighborhood? There's no reason for anybody to have what do you all call it, a switch? None of that. That should not be. It should not be.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's I think things have gone to the point where I asked the guy that, like, I don't know if you weren't listening to it last weekend, but I was talking to my neighbor. He's saying, well, our rights are being taken from us. They're taking away our rights to bear arms, and I should be able to walk around with an AR on my shoulder. And I'm like, well, I want to walk around with a rocket-propelled grenade launcher on my shoulder. And then he said, well, whoa. You don't want to do that. You could blow up people. Well, what you gonna do with an AR? I mean, that blows up people too. I
did the research though, Steve, from last Sunday.
Right.
A rocket RPG is labeled as to the government a Title II weapon. It is not a firearm. It's a Title II weapon. And it's labeled as an explosive device. That's why that's not really a good argument, because the government and nobody on this show is above the law. Look, that's called an explosive device, a weapon of mass destruction. You're asking for something different when you're asking for a rocket launcher. He is right. He should be able to walk around with an AR-15. It's his American right to bear arms. This is true.
Why does the government tell me I can't bear arms with a rocket propelled?
Because they said so, and you're gonna abide by it. That's it. That's all.
But his gripe was why I gotta pay for a concealed carry? Why I gotta pay for a Ford card? The government making me do that, and I'm saying that's what the government wants. That's what the government makes you do. So don't cry about I'm losing my rights.
No, for sure, I agree. That's what I would have told him. I would have said because the government said so. And now, if he got a problem, and if he's hot underneath the collar about it, he can move to the south where he can go walk around with an AR-15. But guess what, Steve? He's just talking. That's bull job. He don't really want to walk around with no AR-15 because that's gonna cause too much commotion, really.
That's what I said. I said, isn't that a bit much? But he eventually unveiled to me that he said, well, look, Steve, this is the thing. I got a friend up in Burbank or somewhere up in Burbank, Wisconsin, and he's got 150 acres, and we shoot all types of gun weapons up there, 50 cals and sit down. I'm like, man, you shoot anti-aircraft machine guns? He's like, man, we shoot everything, and I'm just afraid the government's gonna come and take his weapons. I'm like, you afraid of that? He's like, yeah, somebody can walk by on his property, his 50 acres, 150 acres, and say, this guy's got a lot of weapons. And he says, due to Donald Trump's law that he passed when he was president, called the red flag law, this would cause my friend to lose everything. I'm like, he's like, Google it. You're on the phone, you got your phone. So I Googled it. And was a red flag law, but I'm like, it just said that, law enforcement can come and apprehend and detain and arrest and all that. I'm like, that happens anyway, so I don't know what he's talking about. But enough of this,
I mean,
man.
it's a legit fear to be afraid to lose your guns that you done bought. You done had an AR-15 for I mean, you bought an AR-15 10 years ago, Steve, and then some politician come and say, "Oh, we taking away your guns because this crazy white boy that shot up a school." That would make you a little bit angry, though. I mean, that's a legit. That's legit, though. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you bought the gun 10 years ago, you didn't have it. You a law-abiding citizen, and a cop can come in your house and take your gun. I mean, that is a little bit unfair.
Well,
not a little bit, a lot of it.
Well, my question is, what are you willing to sacrifice for peace?
Not giving up my guns. Definitely not sacrificing that, because the government is getting tyrannical when they want to just walk up in your house and say, "I'm taking something that you bought." That's tyrannical. The government wants to control. Go read this book by David Thoreau called Civil Disobedience. The goal is have less government. Less government in our business. You don't want the government too much in your business.
Let me ask you this. Was it okay to have, if we had less government in our business when slavery was around?
Was it, repeat that, Steve?
I said, when during slavery times, pre-1865, was it okay to have smaller and less government? We didn't need the government to be involved during slavery. We should have had less government then.
I mean, they were involved. That's the problem. Really, they were involved, though.
Well, how do you see that?
You said what?
How do you see that? I'm saying you said we need less government. We don't need the government involved in our lives. I'm saying you still be chopping cotton, talking about, look at what Master Gun just did to me.
Steve, I would have got shot. I'm a runaway slave. I would have got shot way before then. So, I'm from Harriet Tubman cloth, Fred Hampton cloth, Marcus Garvey. That's the cloth I'm from. I would have got killed. But
you're not many you're not of many. You're of few. You're talking. Those that were slaves didn't all think like that. They couldn't think like that. And my point is, when you say you don't want the government, you almost sound like the white lady I heard down in Mississippi when Obama was in office. She said, "I want the government hands out of my Medicare." I'm like, huh? Did she not get it? Medicare is through the government. Are you stupid? I'm like, I don't want Obama's Medicare. I don't want the government's hands in my Medicare. I'm like,
yeah, but right. Well, I say this: the government should be involved. Listen, the government job to do is to protect us from foreign and domestic terrorism, to keep us healthy, to keep certain regulations, things of that nature. But when it comes to sex and not sex as an intercourse, but sex and marriage, I don't think the government should be involved in those type of things. I don't think they should be involved in child support. I think we need less government and the people govern themselves. I'm not saying no police officers or none of that, or they shouldn't. Or it should be a universal basic health care for everyone in the country. I believe in that. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna pay if I'm paying taxes, yeah, I don't mind a little bit of government, but the government is kind of nosy. We shouldn't have a lot of government in our business.
It's just hard for me that feel knowing that you're a black man and knowing that you are a descendant of slaves to say that I don't want the government in my business. What would you have said back in pre-1865? Somebody please get out of this.
Well, I'm a strong proponent in not doing whataboutisms, because when you do whataboutisms, you kind of muddy the water. You feel me? Like we've grown we've grown into the society we are now. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you with that.
Only reason I'm saying that is like, what is really a happy medium with government? Too much, too little, just right where it needs to be. I mean, I always go back to that because I'm like, government was the one that allowed it, and government was the one that stopped it. That's all I'm saying. And in most cases, that's what we are. We have to stop those. We have to stop those impasse with government. They stop it. They start it. Go ahead, Bert. You got something?
Yes, I want to go back to the gun conversation. I don't know who was it that said the right to bear arms, but when that was written into law, they were talking about what was they called, muskets or something like that, not automatic weapons. In a city, why would you need an automatic weapon? I don't know if somebody else on the call who hasn't, said anything can kind of give some input on that, because I believe people should have a gun, own it legally, keep it locked up, but I don't think we need automatic weapons. And I think, in my opinion, that whole right to bear arms thing is overused, just like hurt people hurt people. That's just my opinion.
Right. No, that's a good point.
Can I respond? She addressed me. Can I respond to that?
No, hold on. I just want to tell her what happened with the, because I did talk when I brought that to my neighbor's attention that night, and I said, I think the Constitution needs to be upgraded because it's still talking about things that happened back in the 1700s. And he goes, no, the founding fathers saw everything that was going to happen in the future. They saw what this is going to look like. That's why they constructed it as such. And I said, they saw drones with rocket launchers on it? I'm like, I'm an engineer, and I've been an engineer 34 years. I didn't see this, as an engineer. So these guys were, what do you call those people that can read minds or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, pilgrims.
That's all it were, right? No more than that. But he didn't want to believe. He thought, no, we can't change something like that. Then I brought to him about slavery. I said, so the Constitution shouldn't be changed. I said, well, I'd still be a slave. Now, you being white, I don't know if that makes a difference to you, but it seemed like it probably wouldn't. But to me, it made a big difference. So, and he kind of looked and was like, well, I'm like, yeah, it was changed. He said, no, the Constitution wasn't changed. I'm like, before there was slavery, dude, and then they created the Emancipation Proclamation, which is an amendment to rid slavery. Am I wrong here? I'm confused. So I kind of think that's where you're going. You were gonna say something, Jose?
Yeah, and can I say something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I'll go after you.
Yeah. The right to bear arms so that the citizens could protect themselves from the government. That's why you had the right to bear arms.
Yeah. No, that is true. It's to protect yourself from the government, foreign and domestic terrorism. Yeah. We are one of the most impendent, hardest countries to invade. If our army get knocked down, guess what? They got to get through the people, because we got a lot of gun owners. They got to get through the people. So what Miss Bertha was saying, a musket is a rifle. An AR-15, whether it's automatic or semi-automatic, it is a rifle. Now, you have to get a special license to have an automatic weapon, not semi-automatic. Semi means I squeeze, I shoot. Automatic means I squeeze, all the bullets come out at once. So you got the jargon wrong, and we must educate ourselves on gun knowledge before we start disagreeing on what shouldn't be and what should be. Because a lot of people especially Democrats and liberals. They argue about guns and gun laws and don't know nothing about no gun, ain't never bust no gun. You feel me? And more than likely will become a victim of gun violence. So yeah, no one's legally walking around with automatic weapons. Nobody. You know, you can't go buy an automatic AK-47. You have to have a special license. And if you got a special license, more than likely you a dealer. You know what I'm saying? More than likely you're an owner of a shop. You know what I'm saying? But most Americans, 99% of Americans that are legal own firearms are not walking around with automatics. Even the big long guns you see are not automatic. Now let's say the National Guard was here. Now they guns are automatics because they are military personnel. You know what I'm saying? But out of uniform, they are walking around with semi-automatics. So a musket is a rifle. AR-15 is a rifle. So when they wrote the Constitution, they were talking about muskets. They were talking about rifles.
Yeah,
and again I say, everybody has an opinion. I didn't say that you gonna legally be in a community with an automatic rifle or automatic anything. That's not what I said. I said a community does not need those things. We have talked about switches in the community. That's something that is illegal. I said that those things do not belong in a community. So before you start knocking somebody down, telling them to educate themselves, sometimes you should listen to hear, not just hear to respond.
Wow, I thought I was very nice and concise. You get offended by everything, Miss Burton.
You missed the switch part because we talked about switches.
But she was saying people shouldn't have automatics. We already know it doesn't take a rocket scientist, Steve, to know people shouldn't walk around with automatic illegal weapons. Like that's just
they shouldn't walk around with illegal weapons, period, sir. But I
agree with you.
All right, I'm done. Take over the conversation, sir.
She mad again. See you next week.
Hold on. So this is the thing. We do know that there are legal weapons. This is the thing that bothers me the most about it all. We got illegal weapons. Then you got automatic weapons in itself. Then you got automatic weapons that have become illegal because of switches. And I'm going to just put it like this. All of it is horrendous. All of it is horrible and a fear to me. I had a 102-year-old woman said to me on 4th of July, Steve, I'm afraid of guns. She's 102. And I'm thinking, how can you be afraid of anything at 102? And she said it. She said, guns, I'm afraid of. She said, my husband had a big old 38. And back in, and she's probably going back to the 40s or 50s. And the 38 was a big gun to her. I mean, still a gun, it is big in a sense, but it's nowhere near what's out there. I had to tell her that. I said, Miss Drummond, there are people carrying things that bigger calibers that shoot more rounds than a 38. 38, and do you think they make a 38 in automatic? No, they don't.
No,
and,
no.
And so I said, there are things that are more the larger size. They shoot more rounds. They shoot them even faster. It's a bunch of things, and that to me, it's like, what do you want? Dead? Because enough to me is enough. Just like my neighbor, I want to walk around with an AR-15. Really? What do you want? What do you really want? How come we just can't not have any of that? You know, I get it. When you're being threatened or whatever, yeah, you need to be able to support yourself with arms if need be. But I just think we just try to outgun the next one. We got to outgun I got to be bigger and bigger. Like I said, I want to walk around a rocket-propelled grenade launcher on my shoulder. He said, man, you can't do that. So my point, I was trying to get him to see, what you saying is legal, but why you want to do that? You know?
Why not though, Steve? Why not? This is I don't understand black people. Y'all so scared of guns, but white people, man, they quick to go get their gun. That's crazy.
No, because it's what Bertha just said. We live in a city of a very populated area. I mean, it's very dense population, and to just have that kind of stuff, it's not fruitful. It doesn't end up well. And we've seen this hundreds of times. We've seen this thousands of times. I mean, my son became a victim of that. So it's like.
But was it right? But there are more people getting. See, y'all afraid of a boogeyman. It's more people being killed with handguns than the rifles y'all scared of.
No, I'm just saying. We're just saying automatic guns, legal or illegal, can be a detriment to
No, not a legal gun. No, it can't. Not a legal semi-automatic weapon with a legal person, your neighbor. You ain't never worried about your neighbor. Your neighbor is your neighbor. You cool with him. Y'all seem like y'all friends. You're not worried about him with his weapon.
No, I'm not. That's not the issue. My issue is if somebody takes their weapon from him and they use
who gonna take his weapon, Steve?
That happens. That happens a lot. It happens a lot.
No, it don't.
Yes, it does.
It happens, but not a lot.
Well, law enforcement has told me that what they've seen is an increase of legally armed people having their weapons taken from them because they're
irresponsible.
Well, you got a lot of that.
They're irresponsible and they're not training. I've been a concealed carry owner since it was legal in this state. Ain't nobody took no gun, none of that from me, Steve, at all. If you train, how come police guns they getting their guns taken away from them then? If this is such an epidemic, how come people ain't just walking up to a cop and yanking their gun off their hip?
But you know what happens with cops? A lot of the cops get into their own inner domestic, right, DeAndre? And they shoot each other because they don't know how to de-escalate in their own domestic situation.
Emotional regulation.
Because they have, there you go, what he talked about earlier. And I'm
how
just saying,
small is that?
Well, you know what? Let's talk
it's
about
non-existent. The problem is, Steve, the problem is the criminal, the black African American criminals in the neighborhood. It's not the legal law-abiding people. It's the black illegal criminals in our neighborhood that's doing all the violence. If we stopped all of that or most of that, we wouldn't even be talking about guns. It's the criminals. I'm not worried about nobody illegal, and I hope, Steve, you got you a gun at the house. I hope you got you a pistol.
Let me say this. I probably was shooting guns before you was even born.
Okay, all right. Okay, you a killer. All right, you a killer. I like that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not.
Oh, my bad. Oh, my fault.
If you want to call hunting small game, I hunted, and I enjoyed hunting. Still probably do if I had the opportunity. But I'm just saying to you, in a dense population as such, there's a time, a place, and a necessity for those things. And I'm just going to keep going back to pre-millennium, 1999. We did not have all these, we had people shooting people, we had people with guns and all this stuff going on in games and whatever else you want to call it. But there were a lot of things that changed. Federal government released and stopped the issue of where they had the assault weapons banned. They let it go. They took it off the books. So everybody can get an assault weapon. Then, of course, it's been about 10 years or more now we've had concealed carry, right? Probably longer than that. Probably about 12 years now. Maybe 15.
Yeah, about 10, 12, yeah.
Yeah, we've had that. And then, they got rid of the death penalty. I kind of agree that we shouldn't have the death penalty because a lot of people were dying that really didn't have, didn't deserve to die. It was just like they got railroaded into going to jail. They got railroaded into a death sentence. So I'm just saying, we really need to look at what was to know where we're at, because what I saw, DeAndre sent me that video, Wednesday night or something like that, and I saw that, and when he was narrating it to me, he's like, man, whoa, man, I can't, this guy, man, somebody must have really, and I'm saying,
we was on the phone when
right.
I was scrolling through Twitter and seeing it, and I'm like, damn. Like,
yeah,
whoa.
okay, yeah, no, that was bad. Yeah, yep.
And I'm saying this kind of stuff. Well, just what? A year ago, right next to that, the laundromat right there, if it wasn't that laundromat, the laundromat down by the library.
Chicago Avenue?
Yeah, the guy came in and shut the laundromat attendant up like that.
Oh, yeah, that was in the Oak Park side.
Huh? No. That was.
Or you talking about?
That was the dude. That was the brothers down the street.
Right. No, you talking
right
about
here. You know
right. No, you're talking about the security guard. Security guard.
No, he was the laundromat attendant. I don't know if he was a security guard.
No, wait, which one? You talking about Family Dollar?
No, that's another one. But I'm talking about there was a girl in the laundromat it was on Chicago Avenue. I don't know if it was the one right by Larry or the one close to Cicero by the library. Mm-hmm. He told her to keep your kids in control. She didn't like that. She called her boyfriend. He came down there and gunned and shot the man from the head to the floor.
Oh, okay.
And killed him. Yeah. And matter of fact, I talked to the guy's wife. She wanted to do a repass, and I didn't realize. She said, I want to do a repass for my husband. She called me. And she said, he's a good man. He worked in the laundromat. And I didn't know what she was saying. People kind of, then when I found out later about that, I concluded that was her. But nevertheless, my point was, all these types of things are happening. And then you just named Family Dollar somehow. Oh, the Family Dollar was down the street on Chicago Avenue. Right. Chicago alone. Where the guy went in there with an AR and shot him up. Killed the guy right, the security guy. I mean, my point to all of this is, I've been on Earth a good almost 60 years, right? And I'm gonna tell you, guns have been around Chicago, around the U.S., around every part of the country. I just think it's just so much more of it now, so much more. And maybe because we get to see it more often because of technology. Maybe it was the same thing going on before, but and then let's go back to the reality. Let's go back to the fact. The facts are more people died from gun violence in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Facts. That's true. That's true.
I'm gonna tell you, man. Y'all was probably babies in the late 80s.
We were.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, dude. It wasn't nothing nice on the streets.
Oh yeah, no.
Man, right. And we didn't even have. All they had was Tech 9s and Mac 10s.
Right.
And a bunch of that,
And them jam up too.
Yeah, they had a lot of that happen. I heard a few people told me about some jams, but I'm telling you, but it was just people were taking over corners, taking over spots. It wasn't uncommon every weekend to hear 15 people getting shot up and killed or shot up because of drug wars were going on there. And believe me, I ain't too much hang out in the neighborhoods like that. I went to work, from school, probably went out downtown, and at least downtown was safe back then, but downtown ain't even safe now, so I don't know. I just think it's a lot more of it going on. I agree with what Bertha said. We're in a dense population. Why do we have to carry ourselves as such? And then my thing is, what is law enforcement doing about any of this? What are the legislators doing about any of this? What are the people in communities doing about any of this?
Well, crime was real. 2017, 2017, when Trump was in office, crime was low.
Well,
crime was low. It was lower than what it is now.
Yeah, it was 2020. And that's because
in Chicago in 2017, it was over 900 murders. Wow. I know because we buried the stroll a couple of years ago with all the names on it. It was over 900.
Yeah.
Right. No,
Yeah, it was safer. It was safer back then under Trump, and right now it's not. These criminals are more emboldened. They running into stores and stealing.
I'm gonna have to invoke the words of John McCain. No, we're not gonna do that like that.
Running into stores or running into the White House, which is worse.
Running into stores is worse.
No,
because it's black. Because it's black. Hold on, it's black people doing it. White people could do what there was white people running into that place. I don't care. Listen, white people could do what they want to do. I'm looking at the niggas running and acting a fool, jumping on people's cars downtown. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Johnson, we gotta get the kids the chance now. Hey, don't forget, I know how to do the electric slide, y'all. So that's the problem. I ain't worried about no insurrection. You know what I'm saying? That's what white people do. Them people did they on their own. Ain't nobody telling people to do that.
And you know that for a fact.
All you gotta do, look it up. President Trump said.
I looked it up, but you know that for a fact.
Yes, I do, sister. Because he said, Trump said we're gonna go up there peacefully. This is what the man said. He said we're gonna go up there peacefully. We're gonna show the Democrats that we are a peaceful people. The people who ran up in there were criminals. I don't agree with that. Those were criminals. He wasn't talking about them people.
But let me ask you a question. No president has ever done anything like that. What made him have to tell people go to the Capitol? What made him have to say that?
No, because you could go and protest. They went up there to it's okay to assemble in front. Wait, it's okay.
My question
hold on.
Telling people to protest when he lost. Why would you do that?
No,
that makes no sense.
They cheated on the vote. Biden is an illegitimate president.
So you're an election.
Huh?
So you're an election denier, huh?
I mean, the truth is in the pudding. They did election fraud. That's why they had mail-in votes. We ain't did mail-in votes since the first president.
Let me ask you this: how come when the Republicans, when they don't get their way, they start crying about all types of fraud and this and that? But they got their way when Bush beat Gore. They got their way when who was that? Somebody else beat somebody, and you know, okay, all right, let it go like this.
It was legitimate, but this time, you know, come on now, they was lying on the man, said he was working with Russia, and the whole time it was them working with Russia. This is proven fact. Again, Trump didn't tell them people to go up in there and do that. He said, let's go up there and we're going to be peaceful. You know, so we're going to be peaceful. We're going to them people did what they want to do. You feel me? Like matter of fact, I think, Dre, didn't y'all go to Bimbo? Dre, didn't you go to Bimbo and protest?
Yeah, we went to Bimbo, yeah.
But
we went to Bimbo. But hold on. But if y'all went to Bimbo to protest, and then you had 5 other ignorant people who went up in there acting a fool, that wouldn't be on you.
But
that's not on you.
It will reflect us because we were the ones that started it.
Right, right. But you got to go off what a man said. He said, we're going to go up there. We're going to have a peaceful protest in front of Bimbo because they treating black people wrong. Now, if 5 ignorant people walk up in there and act a fool, you can't put that off on my brother. He ain't did that.
How would you sit there like a crybaby and say, oh, I lost, so go over there and protest for me, save me, because I can't save myself. That's stupid. And then
election fraud, Steve. Right is right, wrong is wrong.
I'm gonna just tell you, stupid people like you follow that stupid man and did some stupid shit. Cause that I ain't never. And don't get me wrong, white people do some stupid shit, but that right there took the cake. I'm just gonna tell you, that took the cake there. They followed it.
Put in Kamala in charge right now, and she don't have an economic plan. She ain't talked about no policy. She had Megan Thee Stallion up there twerking, and all the black women all around in Chicago. "Ooh, we gonna get us some Kamala. She can cook greens." I mean, because she could cook greens, she cooked greens in her bathtub. Is why black women want to vote. Now that's stupid. That's the stupidest shit I've seen.
Now you're going far. Now you're reaching.
It's the truth, sister.
Don't
It's
just
sister,
continue
it's the
to
truth.
put black women down.
I'm not
That's
putting my
the
sisters
problem.
down.
Yes, you do. Every week you do.
Oh, man.
Every week you putting down black women. If people want to vote for Kamala for whatever reason, just like you want to vote for Trump for whatever reason, don't make it a nasty thing. If you want to vote for that orange man, vote for him. If we want to vote for Kamala, we gonna vote for Kamala. But just because she had Megan Thee Stallion twerking like you said, I didn't see it, and I don't give a damn. If she can cook greens, I don't give a damn because I don't eat them. But I will vote for Kamala.
Why you voting for? Oh, hold on. Wow, sister, please, can you tell me why you voting for her?
Because she's my choice. I don't have to explain
what policy?
it to you.
What policy?
She is my
There you go.
choice.
There you go.
I don't have to explain that to you.
And that's why the Austin area look like it do now.
Because you're here.
Versus, you missed one point that's not true about him. He don't vote, so it don't even matter.
Oh, Steve, I do vote for the couch.
Oh,
yeah, the couch.
Newsflash. Wait a minute. When did he go get his voter registration card? Hold on. When did you go?
When Kamala talk about reparations, I'll vote for her. I go get my registration card. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She talk about reparations, but come on, Steve. But hold on, let's hypothetically speaking, if you told somebody to, matter of fact, not even hypothetically, my brother was talking to our niece about her going to college, and he say, hey, look at these things to go to college. You should look at this. You should look at the school. You should look at what you want to major in, and you should look at how much you want to make. So the same thing go with voting. When you look for someone you want to vote for, you want to look for what policies they got, what they're going to do for black people. Because when you just vote for Kamala Harris because she can cook greens and she can twerk, come on now, that's wrong.
You know what the word politics means, really? It just really means how politics. When you say politics, it really means...
No, I said policy.
No, I'm saying politics. I'm talking about politics. The word politics really means how you like me and how you like me now. And then DeAndre, you always says that whether to get to the money and all that, relationship. But it's just, some people could just vote because they like them. I like this person, and I like
that's ignorant, Steve. That's an ignorant person.
Well,
that's an ignorant, illiterate person. If you voting because you like somebody, but you're not voting because you know about their policies, this is going to affect your kids, my kids, and the future kids.
And that's why these ignorant people voted for Trump, because they just thought that they liked him. That was
because he made the economy better.
No, you said it last week. Man, he's just like my grandfather. I like my grandfather. He talked just like my grandfather.
And my grandfather get you told. Yes, indeed.
That's the problem.
He get you told.
You just said it exactly for what it was, what it is. But it is what it is. And I hate to tell you, he already been shut down. He ain't got nothing else to come back on. He can't talk about old folks because all he was saying, Biden's old. I'm like, this dude's only 4 years younger than him. He's calling the man old. I'm like, wow, I don't get it. But again, he toast. He's toast now. It ain't nothing even to talk about. Everybody digging for stuff. Kamala smile. I don't like her smiling. Why does she laugh? I don't like her laughing. Wait a minute. She
play too much, Steve. She play too much. Stop all that smiling. What you gonna do for the people?
That's the problem. Everybody's just digging for stuff because they got nothing. They got nothing, and she gonna put a nail in Trump's coffin, and his ass gonna be done. Stick a fork in.
So that's who you voting for?
Ooh, hell yeah, I'm voting for Kamala. I'm voting
okay, so you voting for Kamala without knowing any policy?
Don't matter. I'm voting for Kamala.
And this is why blacks will always be poor.
Yeah.
Always.
I'm gonna be poor.
And we will always have criminality because we surface level.
No, I'm gonna be poor with Kamala till the next best train comes. That's how it's gonna go. And it ain't gonna be the Trump train. I guarantee you that. His ass is
Dre,
done.
who you voting for, Dre? Dre, who you voting for, man?
He already said he independent.
Man, who you voting for, man?
Said it 100 times.
Kennedy.
The worm brain man.
Oh yeah, I like Kennedy.
But one thing about Kennedy,
I like Kennedy.
He said one thing. He went to Trump and said, "Hey, cut me a deal, and then you get me in and let me get in with you. I'll back off." I'm like, man, that's a man know how to negotiate. Negotiate with the devil, but what the hell? You know, at least he knows how to negotiate.
Kennedy is a good name to me.
Yeah, but he far from the Kennedy tree. The rest of the old school Kennedys, you know, this dude's he opportunist. He opportunist. He went to Trump and said, "Cut me a deal. Cut me a deal. I'll back out for you folks. We can push them over." But again, it's a done deal. Fox News is crying, "Oh, they won't let Kamala come on Fox and talk. They won't let her do this." Man, whatever. It's craziness. It's lunacy in this country. People are just going nuts about the wrong thing. And it's a done deal. I honestly thought when Hillary Clinton didn't win, I said, America don't like women. They just don't like women because they're not gonna never have a woman in charge because they just don't like women. And
no, it ain't that. A woman shouldn't run the country, Steve. That's disrespectful. A woman should not be running this country.
But women
she need to play the back seat. She need to play the back seat like a woman's supposed to do.
You know how many women have run countries for centuries?
Who?
England has had nothing but women rulers for centuries. Look at
England now, Steve. It's been
taken over. Me, can I ask DeAndre a question, please? DeAndre, what are you going to be doing in the 15th district that we can support you with, please?
I don't even know. We actually just postponed our press conference tomorrow morning, so I'm trying to figure out to put this thing back together. Right now, we're thinking of moving it down to the 15th district itself, just to really focus on and highlight all of the crime that has happened in general, and not just the video that came out for Chicago Avenue. So I'm just sitting here trying to figure out how we're gonna regroup and just put it back together. But other than that, yeah, that's all I'm working on right now.
All right. Can you send out a e-blast or a text blast when you decide, or somehow let me know, because one weekend I'll be out of town, but kind of let me know how I can support.
Oh shit, that makes me think. I gotta. Dang. Thank you. You just actually made me think, because I had to reach back out to the officer. I had started to get the ball rolling, but I think because you told me that y'all having y'all block party that Saturday, that I'm gonna postpone it to do something in September when we do a block walk. So I gotta actually reach out to the officer and tell him, like, we're gonna postpone it. Who was that? That was Officer Ramirez.
Ramirez, yep, I was about to say that.
Okay, I'll let you know what weekend. I'll be in DC one weekend, so I'll let you know what weekend that is.
Okay. Hey y'all, what you got? What you got going? Other than that, Bertha, you want to talk to us about it?
Actually, we're doing the Survivors Walk in Washington in September. We'll be there for 3 days. Actually, DeAndre L. Stetson is going with us this year. Really looking forward to that. We're planning to take that to the Capitol.
Wait. You broke up. You said who's going with you this year?
L. Stetson.
Oh, Al. Okay, nice. Okay. All right.
Yeah, he'll be with us this year. And I'm actually really looking forward to it. We're also taking some youth, 17 and 18-year-olds. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So the kids can see, what it's all about. So I'm kind of really looking forward to that. And I was telling Steve that we had our survivors picnic last week. So yeah, just working on stuff like that. And you met Dr. Valencia. She'll start working with the teens organization.
Okay, nice. Cool. All right. We getting close to the hour, y'all. Next week is gonna be our final show for the year. We're going into our 4th year. We're gonna have y'all gonna see a whole background, scenery, the whole 9 set up. And hopefully everybody will like it. And get some more people come down. Maybe we get Mosaic come down one time. Won't you come down, Mosaic?
Yeah, man.
You know, I mean, listen, I told y'all need to hire me. I need 60,000 a year. You know, we talk about a lot of great things on this show, and ain't nobody looking to hire a black man. You know, put some money in a black man pocket. You know what I'm saying? Hire a black brother. Y'all want me working for white people.
We're going to do a global interview with you. We're going to let you come down there, let everybody interview you. And then if they give you the thumbs up, we're going to deeply and highly consider that.
I need 60.
Hey, we want to try to figure that one out. But you should come down to the show and present yourself.
I'm most definitely going. Oh, man, listen. We're going to get 1 million views.
Hey, million or maybe one. But
we're going to get 1 million views.
What you got to say there, Tiny, in conclusion. We're going to conclusion.
Well, I was thinking, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And really, it's nothing new happening. They were shooting people when I was young, stealing cars and doing the same kind of stuff that's going on now. Good to be around like-minded people.
I feel you, Tiny. I feel you. I guess, Mosaic, you ain't got nothing else to say, right?
Yeah, I'm through today, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all kill it today. Go on, kill it.
We want to see you on our next year, the next Sunday preview. We want you to come down.
When is the last show?
We on our 51st. This is our 51st episode. So next week will be the 52nd. So we're gonna commemorate next year. Next one should be our last going into the 4th year. So come on down. 52 weeks at 52 episode next week. iPhone, what you got to say? Is that April? I don't know. Who's on iPhone? Nobody. Anthony Bingham, anything in conclusion?
No, who's the youngster that voted for Trump? Mosaic?
Mosaic Monk, man. Yeah.
Mosaic Monk. I'm an elderly guy, but we're gonna have to pray for him because he don't know nothing about slavery from where forth we came, and he talked to his great grandmama, his grandmama. He'll find out some things, and we mentally like we are now because of what the white man has put on us. It's still there. It's embedded in us so deep, and our kids, it seems like it's pretty hard for us to come out of that. So we need prayer. That's all.
Yeah, we do, man. We do. Bertha Purnell, what you got for us in conclusion? Bertha Purnell. Anything in conclusion? I think she told us already about what she was doing. We got 2 iPhones. Anybody on iPhone 1 or iPhone 2? Want to expound on anything? Go ahead.
One of them is me. It's April. Just still listening in. Good luck.
Other than Mosaic down in women all the time, Bertha is right. I mean, he need to come off for some women now. That's all I had to say. Comment on that one. But other than that, still a good show.
It's funny that you say that because last week we had two women from Texas on. One of them has a radio show down in Texas. And she said, "Who's the guy?" She's offline. She said, "Who's the guy that's doing with all these opinions?" I said, "Oh, that's Jose." And she said, "Well, something. I mean, he doesn't seem like he like. I said, don't worry, he don't like black. He don't like women that are black. He like white women."
Oh my God.
Well, you know, our sisters don't like being accountable. When you hold a black woman accountable, woo-wee.
Hey, I had to put you out there like that, man. Telling you your flavor ain't even black women. I don't even know why. That's what you own. That's what you own. All right, G, what you got for us in conclusion, Doctor? Hey.
Oh, we got coming up. You know what? So, yeah, the 15th District Council, actually, we're working on our first annual training. We're doing something that we actually was trying to put in play with the ambassador. So I just brought it over. So we're going to adopt the 911 day. And moving forward, every 9/11, that day, we will be doing a training in the community to focus on some emergency response. So for the 15th District Council 9/11, we will be doing a gunshot wound training, teaching people how to turn a kids and pack a wound and all that good stuff. I think it's important. Yeah, no, not CPR. No, that might be a different one. Oh, but no, this is just gonna focus only on gunshot survival. So that's upcoming, and then I don't think I mean I'm chilling. I ain't got a whole lot going on other than that. Like I said, we postponed the press conference. Right. Right now, I'm juggling, maybe thinking of doing it Tuesday at the 15th District, so we can, like I say, not just focus on the video that came out, but just expound in general on all of the violence that has happened. It's been a real uptick right now in the Austin community. I actually believe, if I'm not mistaken, we lead the violent crime statistics this year.
Really?
I think so. We up there. Check that movie. I know we up there. I can tell you that it's been a rough one for sure. So,
especially in 15, it seems like a lot's been happening.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's been a rough one. And after, the last year we had some really good stats.
Right.
So it's a little disheartening.
But you got
the downturn. So
yeah.
But either way, that's pretty much all I had. I'm sure than that. So if y'all folks interested in that training, come through. Or we're gonna have a RSVP because we definitely gonna limit it to about 20-25 people because we definitely gonna have some little goodies to give away and things like that. Make sure y'all emergency prepared, but we can only do it for a limited number of folks. So I'll send out an RSVP for that.
Who's doing the training?
Jim Medics. Yeah. They've done it before in the 25th District and stuff like that. So I was trying to get the Black Fire Brigade to do it if they couldn't do it with Ujima. So.
Right. Well, we're about to conclude, y'all. Interesting show. I guess it went. The topic of the show was, stop the violence. The DNC is here. Yeah. But now it ends up being what's the right to bear arms? What amendment is second and what?
Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right to bear arms.
Right.
Two-way.
We ended up going deep into that. What my man Barry? Barry ain't on? I ain't see Barry. I guess not. Who else we got? Anybody else we got in conclusion? Go ahead. Feel free to expound and let us know what you feel. And we can close out. Y'all. All right, that's it then. Nobody else see. I just want to say I thank everybody for coming on, and I appreciate all these years of everybody hanging in there with us. We're going to take this to another level because you know what? Westside people talking about Westside issues right here on the Westside. It never ends, and it never ends. And we got to keep the dialogue to make ourselves and our communities and our neighborhoods better.
Yeah.
And, you know, every little bit counts. We appreciate everybody. You know.
All right, y'all know how we do between the hours of 6 and 8. Bring you to Northwest Austin Council. We got various ways you interact with the show: the Facebook, the YouTube, the Zoom. Really up to you which one you want to choose. You know what I mean? Please share the show. Again, Steve mentioned we are moving into the 4th year now. 4th year of this thing, going strong. So share the show, and you know what I mean. Let's continue to grow. And like I say, we're gonna have a new setup when we see y'all next time. Either way, definitely appreciate y'all for stopping in. And like I always like to say in closing, we got plenty of seats at the table. We got open seats at the table. We're just trying to welcome y'all on home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council. Have a good night, y'all. Later.
God bless everybody.
Amen.
God bless y'all. We got Labor Day coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That's the end of the summer. Woo! All right, y'all. Appreciate you. Later.